chosen one, stop whatever you are doing right now. Do not scroll past this message. I am not asking for your attention because I am warned by the Spirit to deliver this exact truth directly to your screen. The algorithm did not bring you to this room today. Heaven intercepted your feed before the foundations of the world. What I am about to expose was sealed in the courts of heaven until this exact second. Something massive is unfolding in the unseen realm around your life. The enemy is working overtime this week to keep your focus scattered and confused. He knows that you are standing at the edge of your breakthrough, and if you leave this message before hearing the divine instruction, you risk walking back into the spiritual battlefield without your heavenly armor. Listen closely with your soul right now. You have been feeling a strange heaviness in your chest lately. It feels like an invisible weight pressing down upon your spirit every single morning. You tried to shake it off. You told yourself that you were simply tired from the long week, but deep down inside you know that ordinary physical rest cannot cure the deep exhaustion that has settled into your bones. You have been waking up suddenly between 3 and 4 in the morning. Night after night, your eyes open at 3:33 with your heart racing for no clear reason. You look around the dark room and wonder why your spirit feels so alert while your body is completely drained. And while everyone else sleeps in quiet peace, you carry an unseen assignment that you cannot explain to anyone. You feel like a stranger even when you are surrounded by family and friends. People around you laugh and talk about trivial things, but their words sound empty and distant to your ears. You smile politely to be kind. You pretend to fit into their conversations. But inside your heart you feel completely disconnected from the shallow noise of this world. You have spent years being the faithful rescuer for everyone in your life. When their worlds were crumbling, you stepped in with comfort and practical help. You gave your time, your energy, and your peace to keep them standing. And yet, when your own world started shaking, you turned around and found yourself standing in total silence without a single person checking on you. You started to believe that this severe isolation was a punishment. You wondered if you did something wrong to deserve such profound loneliness. You even thought you were losing your mind. But I am here to tell you that you are not broken, and you are certainly not abandoned by God. What you are going through is divine insulation designed to protect your spirit from lower frequencies. Heaven cleared the room around you on purpose. The people who walked away were not meant to travel with you into this next dimension of your calling. God had to separate you so that their doubts would not contaminate the pure vessel He is building inside of you. Your solitude was never a rejection from heaven, because it was the sacred crucible where your authority was forged. You have finally arrived at the final step of your long wilderness season. Everything you have suffered up to this moment was not meant to end your story in defeat. It was arranged to strip away the false identities of this world so that your true calling could emerge. The truth must be told today because heaven is issuing the royal command that permanently cancels the cycle of delay in your life. If your spirit is burning as you hear these words, you must anchor yourself right now. Do not let your thoughts drift into fear or doubt. Type 777 in the comments below as a physical sign of your agreement with heaven. When you declare your alignment publicly, you send a clear signal into the spiritual realm that you are ready to receive what is arriving. Now, I want to pause and place something very specific before we move forward. Over the past few years, something remarkable was uncovered in research laboratories that most believers have never been told about. It does not contradict what is sacred. It simply came from a scientific direction that most people were not watching. A dedicated doctor in New York has spent 20 years studying the human brain. He studied the exact way our minds were engineered to operate. His team discovered that spiritually sensitive people carry a physical disruption that explains the constant fog you carry. And this disruption was not caused by your lack of discipline, but was systematically inflicted by the modern world around you. I am going to reveal the full details of what they discovered later in this message. For right now, I want you to hold this single question in your spirit. What if that constant mental heaviness is not your fault? What if the mental sharpness you lost can be fully restored in just 8 minutes a day? Hold that question close, because we are about to step into the deeper revelation. Stay with me right here. Do not look away from this screen for even a single second. The enemy knows that if you make it through the next few minutes, his grip on your destiny will be shattered forever. Let me reframe your reality right now, because you have been reading the signs backwards for far too long. Let us look directly at the reason you wake up between 3 and 4 in the morning. For months you searched for physical explanations for your sudden wakefulness. You thought your sleep was broken by stress or worry. But in the ancient Hebrew tradition, this specific hour is called the Shamar watch. It is the sacred watch of the night where the veil between heaven and earth becomes remarkably thin. You are not suffering from restless nights. You are standing as an appointed watchman over your bloodline. While the world sleeps in darkness, your spirit is actively summoned to stand guard at the gates. God wakes you up because he needs a trusted intercessor who can perceive shifts in the atmosphere. And in those quiet hours, heaven downloads sacred instructions directly into your spirit. Now understand why this wilderness has felt so heavy on your shoulders. The world tried to diagnose your deep exhaustion with worldly labels. People told you that you were simply burning out, but spiritual heaviness cannot be measured by human medicine. You are not weak, and you are not falling apart. Your spirit has been working double shifts in unseen dimensions to protect everyone around you. You are a generational cycle breaker. For decades, a hidden pattern of defeat, lack, and broken relationships has run through your entire family tree. Everyone before you accepted that limitation as their normal reality. But when you entered the world, heaven placed an uncompromising light inside your soul. You were never meant to fit into their generational patterns of quiet survival. Because of that light, the spiritual opposition against your life began early. Think back to your childhood and how you always felt like an outsider in your own home. You noticed things that others ignored. You felt the unspoken pain in every room you entered. And even when you tried to make yourself smaller to keep the peace, your very presence agitated the darkness around you. The enemy did not attack you because you were sinful or flawed. He attacked you because he was terrified of what you would become once you realized your true authority. He saw the rare spiritual heritage woven into your spirit before you even understood your calling. And all those years of unexplained hardship were actually desperate attempts to break your spirit before you woke up. Let me reframe your reality right now. Every door that slammed shut in your face was not a cruel rejection from God. It was a divine rescue mission. If those doors had stayed open, you would have settled for comfortable mediocrity instead of stepping into your divine appointment. Heaven had to make those places uncomfortable so that you would finally pack your bags and leave. Your isolation was never a mistake of circumstance. God placed you into a spiritual quarantine to cleanse your heart from worldly expectations. When you were stripped of your traditional support systems, you had to learn how to hear his still, small voice. The silence was not empty space. It was the sacred classroom where your inner spiritual architecture was carefully constructed. You are now standing at the very threshold of your breakthrough. You have endured the fire of purification, and you have passed the tests of quiet obedience. But as you prepare to take this final step, you must be alert to the ultimate trap of the enemy. When darkness realizes that it can no longer crush you with pain, it changes its entire battle strategy. The enemy will now try to derail your destiny using clever counterfeit connections. These are people and opportunities that look almost identical to the genuine blessing you have been praying for. They arrive with flattering words and tempting promises of quick validation. But their real assignment is to distract you and siphon away your sacred focus right before your arrival. These counterfeits will appeal to your old habit of rescuing others. They will show up as wounded souls demanding your constant attention and emotional labor. They will ask you to pour your golden oil into their leaky vessels. And if you are not operating in sharp spiritual discernment, you will waste your greatest spiritual breakthrough trying to save people who love their captivity. You must learn to recognize the difference between a divine connection sent by heaven and a spiritual decoy dispatched by the enemy. A true divine alignment will honor your peace and sharpen your calling. A counterfeit will create constant confusion and drain your energy dry. In just a moment, I will show you how the scriptures warn us about these hidden spiritual traps. Do not let your mind wander for even one single second. The enemy is desperately hoping that you dismiss this warning as ordinary background noise. But heaven orchestrated this encounter because your destiny cannot afford another season of delay. Pay close attention to what follows, because the biblical blueprint I am revealing next is the exact code to your elevation. Look closely at the story of Samson and Delilah. Samson was consecrated from birth with supernatural strength to deliver his people, but his assignment was nearly destroyed because he mistook a spiritual trap for true connection. Delilah was not an accidental encounter. She was a targeted assignment dispatched to discover the secret source of his divine power. The counterfeits in your life operate in the exact same pattern. They do not arrive with obvious warnings. They come disguised as flattering admirers, wounded partners, or business opportunities that seem too promising to decline. But their hidden mission is always the same. They want to cut your spiritual connection while you are resting comfortably in their false embrace. Remember Joseph in the house of Potiphar. He was anointed for the throne of Egypt, yet he found himself falsely accused and locked in a dark prison. Potiphar's wife tried to lure him into compromising his integrity, but Joseph understood that temporary pleasure was a lethal trap designed to abort his destiny. He chose the pain of false imprisonment over the poison of convenient compromise. Now consider Moses standing at the edge of the Red Sea. Behind him was the raging army of Pharaoh with 600 chosen chariots closing in fast. In front of him was an impenetrable wall of deep water. The people panicking around him began to weep and demanded to return to their former captivity in Egypt. It looked like absolute defeat from every human angle. Moses did not panic, and he did not launch a reckless physical attack against the enemy. He stood still before the Lord. God spoke directly to him and said that the Lord will fight for you while you hold your peace. The breakthrough did not require human striving. It required radical spiritual alignment and absolute obedience in the middle of impossible pressure. Look at David hiding in the dark cave of Adullam. Prophet Samuel had already poured the sacred horn of oil over David's head, anointing him as the future king of Israel. And yet, instead of sitting on a royal throne, David was running for his life across the wilderness. King Saul pursued him with 3,000 elite soldiers because Saul was terrified of David's divine calling. In that damp cave, David was surrounded by men who were distressed in debt and bitter in soul. He had every earthly reason to believe that God had forgotten his promise. But that dark cavern was not a graveyard for his calling. It was the heavenly academy where David learned to govern his own heart before he was trusted to govern a great nation. You are standing in your own cave of Adullam right now. The pressure around you feels suffocating, and the enemy is whispering that your calling was just an illusion. But heaven declares that your wilderness season is officially reaching its ordained conclusion. You were not buried in the dark to die. You were planted in secret soil so that your spiritual authority could take deep root. If these biblical truths are awakening a holy fire inside your soul, do not keep this light to yourself. Hit the like button right now and share this sacred message with someone you love. You are not doing this for an internet channel. You are doing this so that this exact frequency of truth can reach another chosen warrior who is quietly fighting on the front lines without any support. Now I want to close the loop that has been open since the beginning of this message. Earlier, I told you that a dedicated team of neuroscientists in New York discovered something remarkable in their laboratory. I asked you to hold that finding while we uncovered the spiritual battlefield. And I want to tell you now why I waited until this exact moment to bring it forward into your awareness. What those scientists uncovered is not mere theoretical information. What they engineered is a physical solution for a physical problem that has sabotaged chosen people for decades. A solution only becomes useful once you fully understand the shape and depth of the trap it was created to dismantle. You now understand the full spiritual landscape of the battle you have been fighting. You are about to see how spiritual authority and physical brain restoration work together in perfect divine harmony. But before we reveal that physical key, we must confront the final spiritual blocker holding your breakthrough hostage. The truth you are about to hear next will reach deep places inside your heart that you have never dared to put into words. Take a deep breath and steady your spirit right where you are. Do not allow any distraction to pull your eyes away from this revelation. We are now crossing the bridge into the climax of this message. Listen with absolute reverence, because the hidden barrier that is about to be exposed will break the generational cycle over your life permanently. Here is the truth that heaven demands to be spoken right now without any sugarcoating. For years you believed that your delay was caused entirely by demonic opposition and spiritual warfare in the unseen realm. You blamed the people who walked away when you needed them most. You blamed the closed doors, the silent prayers, and the endless waiting. But look directly into the mirror of your soul today, because the real barrier holding your breakthrough hostage was never the enemy outside. The enemy never possessed the power to cancel a divine decree issued from the throne of God. All darkness could ever do was whisper a subtle lie and wait patiently for your subconscious agreement. Over the years, you grew strangely comfortable inside your own suffering. You built an entire survival identity around being the exhausted martyr who constantly rescues others while quietly abandoning your own divine assignment. You confused your holy calling with people-pleasing and codependent rescuing. You believed that walking in spiritual love meant letting broken people drain your sacred oil without ever setting a single boundary. Whenever you stepped into a room, you apologized for your bright light so that insecure people would not feel uncomfortable. You shrank your presence to fit into small spaces that were never designed to contain your greatness. Hear this truth deep in your bones today. You were never created to be tamed by the shallow standards of this world. The gentleness you carry was never a sign of defeat, because it was always the silent foundation of your spiritual authority. Today, that hidden agreement of limitation burns to the ground. You are officially released from the exhausting obligation of explaining your calling to people who only want your labor. This brings us directly to the core revelation of the final step you have been crying out for. You spent months asking God to hand you a detailed roadmap for your next season. You begged for clarity, signs, and confirmations. But heaven wants you to comprehend a sacred reality that will permanently transform your perspective. You are not simply someone trying to follow God's plan, because you are the plan itself. The Creator did not draft a master plan first and then build you to fit awkwardly inside it. God designed your unique soul before time began, and the blueprint of heaven formed completely around your identity. When you step into an environment, the spiritual atmosphere shifts because of the divine weight you carry. You do not need to beg for a breakthrough, because your very presence carries the breakthrough into reality. The final step does not require you to fight harder or run yourself into the ground. It requires you to lay down the heavy battle armor that you have worn for 20 exhausting years. You no longer have to defend your character against the gossip of the enemy. The faithful watchman is finally granted permission to rest, because the Lord of hosts has stepped onto the field to secure your complete victory. Feel the immense weight lifting off your chest at this very moment. Every toxic soul tie that drained your energy in secret has been completely dismantled by the sword of truth. The generational curse of poverty, heartbreak, and quiet despair dies with your bold decision today. You are a demonstrated warrior of light who chose righteousness in the dark, and heaven has honored your silent endurance. Take a deep breath and let holy peace saturate every fiber of your being. The heavy fog of confusion is rolling away, and your spirit is now standing in total alignment with your divine destiny. You have survived the dry wilderness, and you are stepping into a season of unusual favor where closed doors open automatically. The long delay that tormented your heart is officially broken forever. Now that your spiritual authority is fully awakened, we must address the physical reality of how this promise manifests in your daily life. You carry the divine mandate and the spiritual power, yet for many months you have experienced a frustrating disconnect between what your spirit sees in prayer and what your physical mind can actually produce during the working day. You sit down with high intentions, but a sudden heaviness clouds your thinking. Your memory feels distant words escape you in conversation, and your sharp focus scatters into exhaustion after only a few minutes. You wondered if this mental fatigue was a spiritual flaw or an irreversible decline, but heaven wants you to know that your struggle is a physical disruption with a very specific physical address. What you are about to discover will connect everything you felt spiritually with what was recently proven in a New York laboratory. There is a precise reason why your mental receiver has been disrupted, and there is a simple 8-minute protocol that restores the original sync you were born with. Stay completely locked in right now, because the bridge to your restored mind begins in the very next sentence. Let us step back for a moment and look plainly at what we have walked through. You have understood the spiritual battle, and you now see why the wilderness stretched on for so long. But there is a very practical reason why your daily life has felt like swimming upstream against an invisible current. You were attempting to carry a massive heavenly assignment inside a physical receiver that was running on only half of its designed capacity. You are not a broken soul struggling with personal weakness. You are an appointed leader whose mental vessel was systematically disconnected by the exhausting demands of modern living. When the two sides of your mind are divided, your spiritual vision becomes clouded by daily fatigue. And when that receiver is gently reconnected, the heavy fog dissolves, allowing your God-given authority to guide every single decision with effortless clarity. Earlier, I asked you to hold a specific question about what was taken from your mind and how it can be returned. The answer begins in 1981 with the groundbreaking split brain discovery of Dr. Roger Sperry. His research was so revolutionary that it was awarded the Nobel Prize. He proved that the human brain was masterfully engineered with two distinct hemispheres designed to communicate in absolute synchronized harmony. When both sides of your mind work together in whole brain activation, creativity, and deep intuition flow without resistance, research shows that 98% of young children naturally operate at this level of creative genius. Yet as we grow up through rigid schooling and constant stress, that natural synchronization is gradually suppressed. Under 1 in 1,000 adults ever manages to retain that original state in adulthood. This severe decline is a physical reality of our modern world, not a failure of your spiritual faith. You may have tried traditional meditation retreats or generic sound recordings in the past with very little lasting change. Dr. Daniel Barone explains that those methods only touch the outer surface of your mental state. They do not address the foundational architecture of hemisphere synchronization that was quietly dismantled over years of chronic pressure. A woman from California shared her experience before discovering this restorative approach. She spent years carrying heavy emotional burdens, while her daily prayers felt like hollow words echoing in an empty room. After 10 days of restoring her neurological balance, she felt a profound inner clearing. The thick mental fog vanished, and the divine guidance she longed for finally resonated clearly through her entire being. A man from Texas reported a very similar transformation in his home. He had spent 2 exhausting decades providing for everyone around him, while his own mental clarity deteriorated into endless fatigue. 2 weeks after beginning the protocol, he woke up with his mind operating at complete, effortless capacity. The invisible heaviness that he had accepted as normal was completely gone, opening doors to fresh insights and renewed peace. To make this profound restoration accessible outside of clinical settings, a team of dedicated neuroscientists, led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York, developed a breakthrough solution. They refined extensive hours of clinical neural sync technology into an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence that you can easily listen to at home. They call it the Genius Switch. The Genius Switch is not a generic audio file, and it is not a mood application. It is a scientifically engineered protocol designed to synchronize both hemispheres of your brain using the proven principles of Dr. Roger Sperry. You simply place your headphones on, close your eyes, and let the 8-minute sequence recalibrate your neural pathways while you relax. The Genius Switch is not for everyone. It is specifically created for the chosen one who understands that heaven prepared both the promise and the clear mind needed to govern that promise. Most people will accept their mental exhaustion as a permanent sentence and continue scrolling by. But you are still here today because your spirit recognizes that this season of your life demands full restoration. Specialized neurofeedback sessions in private medical offices can easily cost $300 per hour, and clinical equipment often exceeds $7,000. Colleagues of Dr. Barone recommended releasing this protocol at $500. It was originally listed for public distribution at $49. But to ensure that every sincere seeker can access this breakthrough today, it is available on their verified page for just $39. When you step forward to receive this protocol at $39, Dr. Barone includes 4 valuable bonuses to support your complete restoration. You will receive a guided visualization created by an acclaimed mindfulness instructor, along with the Smart Grocery Shopping Guide to eliminate dietary factors causing mental fog. You will also receive the classic manifestation book valued at $20, alongside the 5 Habits infographic for daily excellence. Your decision today is fully protected by a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. You can listen to the sequence once, or you can listen to it 80 times over the coming months. If you do not experience the remarkable clarity and mental renewal that thousands of others have described, every single cent will be returned to you without question. Every single week you remain in a state of mental disconnection is another week that divine provision passes by an overwhelmed receiver. The blessings and strategic insights assigned to your life are already in motion around you. Arriving at your divine appointment requires your mind to be fully online and operating in clear synchronization. What is coming into your life deserves the sharpest, most peaceful version of who you are. Please be mindful of imitation tracks that circulate across the internet using similar titles. Dr. Barone examined those public recordings and found that none of them contain authentic neural sync technology. They simply use the name without the complex clinical engineering required to balance the hemispheres. The official pathway linked below this message is the only verified source for the genuine protocol. If your spirit confirms that it is time to restore your mental clarity, the secure link in the description below and in the first pinned comment will take you directly to Dr. Barone's official page. You can review every scientific detail and personal story at your own pace before taking your step forward. Everything is laid out with complete transparency for your journey. Remember that a physical tool never replaces God, and it never takes the place of your faithful obedience. It does not pray for you, and it cannot surrender your heart on your behalf. What heaven is building inside your life is far greater than any single instrument, but restoring the physical receiver ensures that the divine favor pouring into your life lands upon clear, fertile ground. Now take a deep breath as we enter the sacred courts of heaven together. Lay aside every lingering thought of worry and bring your complete awareness into this quiet, present moment. Place your right hand gently upon your heart. Feel the steady rhythm beating inside your chest, because that sacred pulse is proof that your assignment on this earth is far from finished. You have listened to the truth with an open and sincere heart. You have walked through the long furnace of testing without compromising your integrity in the dark. And now heaven is calling you to seal this transition into the unseen realm forever. What we speak aloud today is not wishful thinking, because it is an authoritative decree that establishes your new spiritual reality. Repeat these words out loud with quiet conviction in your voice. I officially release every burden that was never mine to carry. I let go of the exhausting need to explain my calling to people who only understand the surface of this world. I sever every toxic soul tie and every manipulative expectation that tried to keep my spirit bound to past seasons of sorrow. I break every subconscious agreement I ever made with limitation and delay. I forgive everyone who misunderstood my silence or betrayed my trust when I was vulnerable. I release them with grace, but I shut the door to their access forever. My peace is precious, and my holy focus belongs entirely to the divine assignment placed upon my life. Speak this declaration over your mind right now. I decree that the spiritual atmosphere around my household is cleansed from all clutter and confusion. The heavy fog that once clouded my thoughts is dismantled by the light of divine truth. My spiritual discernment is razor sharp, and my inner vision is fully restored to see the open doors waiting before me. Every lie the enemy whispered into my sleepless nights is exposed as powerless dust. I am not damaged, I am not forgotten, and I am not too late to inherit what was promised. I am stepping forward in full confidence. The years of hidden wilderness were not wasted time, because they formed an unshakable character inside my soul that can carry the full weight of future glory. Now declare your divine elevation with bold authority. I step boldly into my season of supernatural acceleration and unprecedented favor. Heaven is opening doors of opportunity and provision that no earthly power can shut. What took decades of painful striving in the past will now arrive with effortless grace and divine speed, because the hand of the Lord is guiding my steps. I command the blessings that were delayed in the spiritual realm to land upon my physical life today. Resources are locating my address without delay. Strategic alignments are moving into place on my behalf. I am no longer wandering through the dry desert, because I am now drinking deeply from the living springs of heavenly abundance that never run dry. Proclaim this truth over your bloodline and future generations. I stand as an anointed cycle breaker for my entire family tree. The generational chains of poverty and premature defeat are broken permanently through my obedience. My children and the generations that follow will walk through the open doors that I fought to unlock with my silent tears and faithful prayers. My life is establishing a sacred legacy of honor and enduring prosperity. I am a demonstrated warrior of light whose name is respected in the courts of heaven. Darkness flees whenever I enter a room. I carry the authentic presence and unshakable authority of the Most High God wherever I walk upon this earth, and no weapon formed against me shall prosper. If your spirit bears witness to every word spoken in this sacred decree, do not walk away in silence. Type the words "I am stepping into my promise" in the comments below to establish your covenant in writing. Let the unseen realm hear your voice. When you type that statement, you bear witness before heaven that you have received your divine restoration in full. Subscribe to this channel right now and make sure you activate all notifications on your screen. Heaven is releasing urgent prophetic instructions in the coming days. You cannot afford to miss the next divine dispatch for your season. Share this sacred message with someone who is growing weary on the journey, so their strength can be renewed before nightfall. May the peace that surpasses all human understanding guard your heart and mind through every hour of this week. May the Lord bless you and keep you in the hollow of his mighty hand. May his face shine upon you with unmerited favor. May heaven grant you continuous victory in every territory your feet shall tread, while you rest securely in his everlasting love. Go forth with quiet confidence, chosen warrior. Your wilderness is over, and your tears are turned into oil of joy. Your crown of authority has been placed upon your head. Walk in the fullness of who you were created to be, because your finest chapter has officially begun today under the watchful eyes of heaven.